Singh sir, who is, in spite of his very busy schedule since morning, I was also with sir during this extension council meeting. Sir was very critical and sir was very giving the valuable suggestions over there. And just now we finished with that meeting and sir rushed to the this valedictory program. So on behalf of the entire team, sir, on behalf of the College of Forestry, I welcome you to this valedictory session of this 21 days training program. It is a well-known proverb that action speaks louder than the words. With the leaders like Professor Dr. Narendra Pratap Singh sir and Dr. Amresh Chandra, sir, the proverb seems to be just do justice, sir. It is an honorable moment for our college to have your today's event. We all are truly inspired by your deeds and by your presence in this program. Participants and the resource persons happens to be the integral part of any training program. I welcome you all the participants to this closing ceremony of this program. I also welcome the registrar of our university, Dr. S.K. Singh sir, to the valedictory session of this program. And as just 21 days are now over, it seems that we started yesterday with this program and today is the validity of this program. It will be much more enjoyable if we have this campus training, that participant will be having the more chances of getting the interaction with each other. But I hope due to this corona and due to other limitations, that is not possible, and you must have enjoyed your training, your lectures. Dr. Maheshwari and his team has taken keen interest in the formulation of this training program, and they have gone through the every lecture and every resource person very carefully, and they have planned this training program such a meticulously that I think all the participants must have got the this positive energy and positive knowledge from this training program. I was listening to the interactions from the participants just that before the valedictory. I am very happy that some of the faces are very this close to me or very familiar to me. My seniors are there, my juniors are also there in the participants, and I am happy to see them all. Although I couldn't find time to interact with you people, but definitely you have been benefited from this program. So, not taking much time, I once again welcome you all to this particular program, and I hope the things that you have learned in this particular program, in this training program, it will be enjoyed, it will be used in the future research and the teaching in the welfare of the society. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, sir, for such a wonderful welcome address. And I would take this opportunity to just to give you a snapshot of today's minute-to-minute program, which has already been shared with all of you. And without further any delay, I will straight away come to the brief report. So as Dr. Sanjeev has mentioned earlier, it was a journey for all of us. You know, we started 3rd March, as you know, from the organizing committee side. And of course, from the participants, we all came together and completed this journey with the blessings of our senior colleagues and administrations and, you know, the valuable resource persons. But the let me give you a feedback, sorry, not a feedback, but from a notice that, you know, we started it almost a month back, and it was not just me or not just Dr. the organizing chairman or the Honorable Vice Chancellor Saab or our team members. We do have these strong pillars in the form of 3, you know, valuable coordinators, Dr. Nasir, Dr. Kaushal, and Dr. Arbind, who have been, you know, tirelessly working on each and every agenda. So on behalf of the organizing committee, on behalf of the Bandha University of Agriculture and Technology, on behalf of the College of Forestry, and of course on my own behalf, I present this brief report on the 21 days training program. So of course, as the name mentioned, the journey started on 3rd March, as it was, you know, after the registration, after finalizing the themes and everything. We started the program virtually through Zoom platform. There were a total of 38 lectures. And if you would just look at the calendar of March, it was also having the holy holidays from 17th to 19th. So if you would look at it from that perspective, we did not waste a single hour or a single day for that. We were having almost more or less continuous 3 to 5 hours of training sessions every day. So 21 days multiplied by 2 is equal to 42. But if you would look at the lectures, 38 lectures. So including, these Sundays, which was, of course, the demand from the participants also, that at least give us Sundays for, our domestic work to do, because we are engaged in 3 to 5 hours sessions every day. So we took that, notice of that, and then we reduced the number of lectures, and we had conducted 38 lectures in the 21 days. Of course, the month of Feb was also, engaged with really remarkable national and international repute. For example, World Wildlife Day. There could not be a better occasion to start, our training program on forestry and forest and natural resource management without having an integral component on the wildlife. And there could not be a better speaker than himself, the director of the Wildlife Institute of India, from, that is also my mother institute from where I come. Dr. Dhananjay Mohan Saab was the opening speaker who started and made our day and our 21 days training program, having the opening speaker by Dr. Dhananjay Mohan Sahab on the World Wildlife Day. It was followed by the World Forestry Day. And we scheduled some very renowned lectures on the World Forestry Day as well. And recently on 21st, we were having the World Water Day. So Dr. Basanta Singh Saab was our resource person on World Water Day. So we also take this opportunity to not only celebrate, but also to make more and more awareness and what are the current trends, current advancements in the technologies, in the sampling strategies, while celebrating these very important days. Coming to the resource persons from the prestigious universities and institutions, and I earlier mentioned, we handpick them. We make that rapport with all our esteemed resource persons who share their valuable, and an average, if I would give you, an average resource person was having at least minimum of 2 decades or an average 2 to 3 decades of experiences in their respective field. So those were our resource persons. And of course, any training program would not be completed without having the participants. And I mean, all of you, the great participants, the great learner. And as I always mention, that young and talented minds need that shaping and guidance through which they can, do the miracles in their future and transform their knowledge to the next generations. So 34 participants we selected, and those are all, coming and affiliated with the prominent universities and institutions, as well as from the non-governmental organizations across the country. So let me give an overview, a snapshot of all the themes which we had thorough, brainstorming before we finalized the entire training program and the brochure. So there were a total of 7 themes, and I would, come back to each theme with a little bit of introduction and how many lectures were compiled in every theme. So we divided, the entire set of training program, 21 days training program, into 7 themes. The first theme was natural resource management, planning, conservation, and reclamation. Of course, we are having the habitat degradation and fragmentation all across the globe as a major challenge in the developmental world. So what are these natural resource management? What are the abiotic components, as we study in the lower standards, in the 7th or 6th standard, about the abiotic and biotic components? So we also take the liberty of taking the basics and fundamentals to be clear for all of us. So natural resource management, it was having 4 lectures by eminent scientists. And I can see that, they were from ICRISAT, Hyderabad, CSSRI, Haryana, and of course, AKS University in Madhya Pradesh. The second theme was focused on the forest resources. What are the forest resources we have? And this is a very emerging field, very new field. And as Dr. Arbind took a lead in the natural resource management on first theme, one of the coordinators, Dr. Nasir, took a lead on the forest resources certification and sustainable utilization. There were two lectures, and those remarkable lectures, one by the overseas lecture from Liberia, and another one from Kerala. So Dr. K. Radhakrishnan and Dr. Shiv S. Pani, who is an authority in forest resources certification, briefed all of us about the forest resource certification and sustainable utilization. It was followed by the third theme, and it was also led by Dr. Nasir, commercial significance of forest resources. It was having a total 10 lectures, including 2 we shifted from the biodiversity conservation here, as the participants are well aware of. So, our respected Chief Guest, sir, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, this was the third theme. And in the third theme, we are having a variety of the resource persons. For example, Chief Scientist, Principal Scientist from KFRI Kerala, from IPI RTI, which is popularly called as IPRITI, Bangalore, from ICFRE, Dehradun, the HOF, Head of Forest Force, and very senior IFS, Dr. Alok Saxena Saab, told us about the island biodiversity. So this was from the biodiversity conservation. Then Dr. Mohammad Javed Saab, he actually gave a very illustrative overview on how to write scientific and make our papers, publications in the high impact factor journal to be published. So we did not limit this entire set of themes just to upgrade our knowledge academically, as well as how we can publish better and effectively. And Javed Saab, also briefed us about how to write more scientifically terms more effectively, that our paper could be published in the high impact factor journals with having less and less rejection rates. Coming to the fourth theme, and that was led by Dr. Kaushal and myself, it was all about the biodiversity conservation and management. And it was having 10 lectures, 2 lectures because of the holy holidays were shifted into the theme, and that was one of the most busy theme because they were having more or less 5-hour lectures every day. And new trends, emerging challenges. And let me also update you, sir, that we were having the resource person from the Wildlife Institute of India, from the TFRI Jabalpur, the very senior IFS and the current PCCF Tamil Nadu. He is an authority on the illegal wildlife trade, Dr. Shekhar Kumar Neeraj Saab. He briefed us about the wildlife illegal trade, global perspective as well as Indian perspective. And we had a wonderful session here on the geopolitics, which was led by me from the University of Oxford. So the geopolitics is a special kind of international politics where the biodiversity conservation has taken a lead. And we spoke about and we discussed about the peace park concept, what is happening in the Russia and the Ukraine, what is happening in Afghanistan, the Taliban has taken over. So all these kind of issues where we are talking about the national territories and boundaries, the geopolitical framework, our esteemed resource person, a professor, Faradinia from University of Oxford, briefed us about the viability and the opportunities at the geopolitics across the global and particularly in the Asian region. And we are talking about the South and Central Asia in particular. So sustainable biodiversity management under geopolitical framework. So we just do not want to give our participants, a national or an Indian scenario. We want to take them beyond the boundaries of the national territories. So it was about the geopolitics. The sixth theme was on the social and cultural concerns, or what we call them the values in biodiversity conservation and its management. So we were having the World Forestry Day, and we have recently celebrated it with AFRI scientist, senior scientist, Dr. G. Singh Saab. And of course, as you know, in the inaugural session, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Saab briefed us about the need of the hour is to mitigate the human-wildlife conflict. And to be more precise, the agriculture-wildlife conflict need to be mitigated. And to deliberate on that very topic, we were fortunate to have Dr. Vipin Chaudhary Saab, who is the network coordinator for the ICR All India Network Project on Vertebrate Pest Management. We were having his deliberation and guidance that how shall we mitigate and how shall we assess the human-wildlife conflict in the agricultural landscapes. So we have covered, I would say, we have tried to cover, we have attempted to cover more or less all the aspects which could come under the forestry conservation and natural resource management. Talking about the 7th theme, which we have finished today in the morning, that was the policy interventions. Because we talk about, as a scientist and academicians, about the science which is putting into it. But the policy makers, the bureaucrats, the IAS and the IFS, have that capability. And if the scientists and academicians and the bureaucrats could come together and work together, we can change the scenario, having the win-win situation in the national context. And that is why we were having, sir, Dr. S.K. Khanduri, the former IG of Forest, MOEFCC, Government of India. And he gave us an overview of the forest and wildlife sector, the policy, and the environmental for sustainable management of biodiversity within Indian context. That was the first lecture of today, and that was followed by Shri Jigme Takpa Saab, one of my very old friend from Ladakh, and he is the Joint Secretary, very senior IFS at the MOEFCC Government of India. He gave us the policy interventions in the biodiversity conservation in India under the international framework. So, as we were discussing about the CBD Convention, Biological Biodiversity, Convention on Biodiversity, and the Aichi targets. So he briefed us all about the, how we can take the leverage of the international programs which are happening through the ministry level in the country. And I'm glad to update you, sir, that he is also the focal point for the UNDCCC, United Nations Convention on the Combat Desertification. So Takpa Saab has also, confirmed us that he would like to sit with us a better understanding to formalize a proposal for the Bundelkhand region. So we also took this opportunity of having our resource person for our better networking and understanding for the betterment of the university and the Bundelkhand region. So these were the 7 themes and a brief report. Let us, have a snapshot of the screenshot what we taken while we were having, these sessions here. So as one of the participants was talking about, the coverage of what we have done so far. So I'm really glad, to update you, sir, that we have taken the full advantage of breaking the boundaries of within the people it has been organized. So each and every lecture has been exclusively covered through the social media with Zoom recordings. So we have that, as well as I'm also glad to share with you that each and every lecture has been live telecasted and would be there as a permanent unless we delete it on the YouTube channel. So there's a specific YouTube channel has been created by the Buat College of Forestry, particularly, and each and every has been streamed, and all our participants and those who could not join us with this training program can take the advantage of our lectures at any time from their laptop, tablet, or gadget or smartphone. So coming to the outcome, of course, our participants are, it's just a dummy certificate which we have recently, finalized, and we are finalizing it. We have not yet finalized. So this is the form of the training of the certificate we would be giving to all our participants. And this is, sir, all about the brief summary of the entire training session of 21 days journey, which we started on 3rd of March, and today we are reaching at the end with all your blessings and with active participation, and I would say enthusiastic participation of our participants. So that was the brief report of the entire training program, what we have done. Of course, I have also noted down a few points from the participants, and here I would take this opportunity to let us go back to the participants and let us hear from them what do they actually think about the overall program we have conducted. So with that, I would now request Dr. Shama Parveen. Ma'am, please unmute yourself and please share your experiences with all of us.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
You are audible. Please, ma'am.
Good afternoon to Honorable Chief Guest Sir, VC Sir, Registrar Sir, Dean, College of Forestry, Panda University of Agriculture and Technology, Course Coordinator, all the entire organizing committee, and all the participants. Today at the valedictory session of this 21 days training program, I'm getting this opportunity to express my views and experiences on this training program. I'm extremely thankful to you for that. It has been really a marvelous experience to be a part of this training, in which not all of us learned a lot about the management of forests as natural resources, but we got to listen to different expertise of different fields of forestry, not from India only, but from different parts of the world, which has been really a wonderful experience. And right from the lectures on mangroves to wildlife management and how to write scientific publications has been given us a very good chance, not only to understand, not only to get knowledge, but also to get the privilege of interaction with such eminent scholars of the international level. It's been an extraordinary experience for us to upgrade and enhance our knowledge, and which is definitely going to help us in our careers ahead. I would like to appreciate and congratulate to the entire organizing committee for conducting such a valuable course and giving us the total freedom to assess the lectures. Even after, if we have missed something, then we can also reach up to through YouTube, and later on to other people also you are making it available. So it has been really a fantastic effort from your side. At last, I would like to congratulate the especially the course director and the entire organizing committee, and with the hope, I would like to close. We'll be associated with such knowledgeable courses in the future also. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for such encouraging and appreciative words. May I now request Dr. Brijesh Kumar to please share his experiences. Dr. Brijesh?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to all.
Please. Afternoon.
This is very nice meeting program. Honorable Dr. Narendra Pratap Singh, Vice Chancellor of Banda Agriculture University, and Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, Dean Faculty of Forestry, and other. सर इतना इंटरेस्टेड था कि मतलब मेरे को तो यही समझ में नहीं आया कि मैं कौन सा लेक्चर छोड़ दूं। मैंने मतलब एक दिन प्लान बनाया कि मतलब मुझे कोई नेसेसरी वर्क पड़ गया कि मैं एक लेक्चर छोड़ूं, तो मतलब मुझे वो लेक्चर देखना पड़ा। इतना मतलब भयंकर नॉलेज, एक से एक इनोवेटिव लेक्चर। सर इस मीटिंग से जो हमारी लाइफ में जितना अचीवमेंट आएगा, मैं कहता हूं, मैं अपनी पर्सनली कहता हूं कि मैंने वास्तव में कुछ ना कुछ सीखा है, और इतना सीखा है सर। एक ऐसे इनोवेटिव चीजें सीखने के लिए मिली, देखने के लिए मिली, वो खास करके सर जो ऐसे साइंटिस्ट जो दुनिया दूर दराज के, इवन इन फॉरेन कंट्रीज के जो साइंटिस्ट थे उनसे भी मैं इंटरेक्ट हुआ और मैंने सर बहुत ज्यादा सीखा इस ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम में रह के। और कंडीशन सर ये भी है कि मैं ऐसी आशा करता हूं कि ऐसे 2-1 ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम और भी हों ताकि मेरी लाइफ में और ज्यादा अचीवमेंट हो। और थैंक यू सर, इसी के साथ साथ पूरी टीम को धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर ब्रजेश कुमार। और मैं सबको ये बताना भी चाहूँगा कि डॉक्टर ब्रजेश कुमार उन हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स में से हैं जो हम अगर 10 मिनट पहले या 15 मिनट पहले जब हम लाइव करते थे सेशन या ऑन करते थे, लॉग इन करते थे, तो डॉक्टर ब्रजेश वाज ऑलवेज बी देयर एज द फर्स्ट पार्टिसिपेंट दैट सर आई एम द फर्स्ट वन हु हैज लॉग्ड इन। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच डॉक्टर ब्रजेश, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आवर नेक्स्ट स्पीकर ऑन द फीडबैक इज डॉक्टर अशोक गहलोत। Gehlot sir, please unmute yourself. Dr. Ashok Gehlot, are you there? Anyway, I think he's getting some network problem. Dr. Aanchal Sharma. Dr. Aanchal
Yes,
Sharma, ma'am?
Yeah.
Please unmute yourself, yeah.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible, please.
A very good afternoon to one and all present in the valedictory function of 21 days online training course. I would like to say it was very well organized training. Thank you so much for all your thoughtful and effective organization. It was highly beneficial and helpful for both academicians as well as for the researchers in enriching the knowledge. It is an appropriate way to flourish and enhance awareness about forest management and sustainable use of natural resources all over the nation. I thoroughly enjoyed all the lectures. Most of the presentation was so engaging and beneficial. I was very impressed with Dr. J.P. Singh from Kazri, Dr. Dhananjay Mohan, Director WII, Dr. Basanta Singh, Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Sadhana Tripathi from FRI Dehradun, and of course, Dr. Mohammad Javed. Since their explanations were easy to understand and the material was always the perfect pace, the training topics was exceptional and the resource persons were highly knowledgeable, clear, prepared, concise, and effective in conveying the information. The training is over, but still, it will be remembered due to the way it was conducted. I do believe that everyone attended is satisfied with the outcome of the training, and this could only because of the organizer, Dr. Aishwarya, Maheshwari, Dr. Kaushal Singh, Dr. Arbind, and Dr. Nasir, who put their best to organize it in the best possible manner. I personally thank Dean Forestry and Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir for giving permission for the organization of this training. And I'm looking forward to actively participate in any event or activity that will come soon. Thank you so much, Dr. Maheshwari.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for such encouraging words. And of course, we have noted down that we will discuss it internally and we'll come back to you and all the participants whenever we are organizing such training programs. Now I request Dr. Abdul Adil Qazi. Dr. Qazi, could you please share your valuable experiences and feedback with us?
Thank you. I hope I am audible.
Yes, please.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Narendra Pratap Singh, the Chairman of today's valedictory function. Chief Guest, Dr. Amrish Chandran, Director of IGFRI Jhansi. The Registrar, Dr. S.K. Singh, the Dean of the College of Forestry, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar. The team of organizers led by Dr. Aishwarya Maheshwari and dear fellow participants. As my previous speakers or previous participants told, I fully agree with them. And I have a couple of points to share at this platform that this is my 5th such training, and I think the 5th one is the best one out of all. The reason being, first, the speakers were very, very carefully chosen. If you look at the profile of speaker, starting from director of WII to various renowned scientists, if you include the secretary of Ministry of Environment and Forest, then forest officers, PCCF of the states. So this is very, very difficult to organize and bring such high profile people at one platform. So I firstly congratulate the organizing committee for bringing such a wonderful people for all of us, all the participants, and we got maximum benefit out of them. Now, a day before yesterday, I was just discussing with Honorable Vice Chancellor, and I just talked with him that I am undergoing one training, and I showed the entire themes. So he was very happy, and he said that he has actually given me an assignment that why don't you conduct such training at Navsari Agricultural University? So Dr. Maheshwari has given me one assignment indirectly that I should also conduct such a training at my university. Secondly, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Navsari Agricultural University, Dr. Z.P. Patel, has conveyed special thanks on behalf of the university to Dr. Narendra Pratap Singh for conducting such a wonderful training, and on behalf of the university, sir, it is my honor to convey the thanks from our Vice Chancellor and on my behalf too. Secondly, it was very, very well organized as said by everyone. However, the sessions were not even overburdened. So I would say that Dr. Maheshwari and the team has maintained the quality over the quantity. And that is highly required in today's sessions wherein you have a lot of lectures, but you don't find quality. So I compliment you on this part that you have maintained the quality of the sessions and lectures. Now, when you were sharing all these themes, I also shared these themes forwarded it to the group which we have made at College of Forestry in Navsari. And many of our faculty members, they joined on YouTube and they have seen those lectures. So imagine it has gone beyond the participants which you have included. Again, they were very thankful. 2 or 3 faculty members especially told me that thank you for giving us such an opportunity. The reason being was you brought such a high profile and wonderful people to this training that not only me, but the other faculty members also get the benefit out of it. So at the end, I would like to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Narendra Pratap Singh, Honorable Registrar, Dr. S.K. Singh, respected Dean of the College of Forestry, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, and congratulations are due to Dr. Aishwarya Maheshwari, Dr. Mohammad Nasir, Dr. Kaushal, Dr. Arbind, and all those who have supported in organizing this program. Last but not the least, Dr. Maheshwari is considered as a very, very well organizer and a highly resourced person in the wildlife fraternity. And, we have it is evidently visible, sir, that you have done a wonderful job. And on behalf of me, on behalf of my faculty members, other faculty members, on behalf of the Dean of College of Forestry, and of course the Vice Chancellor, we are highly thankful to you for organizing such a wonderful training. And we will definitely take guidance from you whenever we are going to organize such a training in future. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your valuable experiences. And I must say, because our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, is already listening the entire session, so of course he would also, welcome the thanks of the Honorable Vice Chancellor Sahab of the Navsari Agriculture University. And from our college side and university side, and from my side, we are all open, to help you in any of the way whenever you like to, organize such kind of events at your university. So, of course, our next speaker is Dr. Garima Gupta. Ma'am, could you please unmute yourself? Dr. Garima Gupta?
Hello. Yes,
yeah,
sir,
ma'am,
I'm
please.
audible.
Yeah, please,
Okay.
please.
A very good afternoon to Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Chief Guest, Director, IGFRI, sir, Registrar, sir, Dean, sir, member of organizing committee, and all my fellow participants. Basically, all things already said by all participants. Then too, I would like to express my thanks and appreciation to the organizing committee for conducting such a valuable training, sir. Throughout this training, all resource persons were eminent, remarkable, and far exceeded expectations. We enriched our knowledge about various aspects of natural resources like carbon management through agroforestry, bamboo resources, wildlife conservation, illegal wildlife trade, economic valuation of ecosystem services, good anatomy, geopolitics, and many more. And about their management also. Sir, I hope that all of these informations will prove beneficial in our teaching and research career. And finally, I want to congratulate the entire team behind this successful training. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. And before we move to the last but not the least speaker of today's feedback session, let me also share, since you all are appreciating our efforts, that's so nice of you and so kind of you. But believe me that, it took time to finalizing those themes. And let me also share an experience that four of us, Dr. Nasir, Dr. Arbind, Dr. Kaushal and myself, we have literally fought, while streamlining those 7 themes, that how it should be wording, how many lectures each theme should have. And then the entire program, it took, a thorough brainstorming and days and nights while preparing this particular, dish. And it appears like we have got all the ingredients in perfect amount to make a successful recipe. So coming back to the session, Dr. Gupta.
मैं सर ने पैनली बोला जाता कि सर जब हम लोग ये ट्रेनिंग के लिए अमाउंट पे कर रहे थे तो उस वक्त ये फील होता था कि पता नहीं किस तरीके के लेक्चर होंगे, क्या होगा, उतना मतलब अप टू द लेवल वो चीज, मतलब एक फीलिंग थी। और कुछ तो जो प्रीवियस हिस्ट्री है कि जैसे एक होता है ना कि बुंदेलखंड की स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी, तो एक थोड़ा सा ये फीलिंग रहती। लेकिन सर वाकई में सर मीन्स अबव द एक्सपेक्टेशन सर, शायद बहुत मुश्किल होता है सर इतनी क्वालिटी मेंटेन करना, मतलब रिमार्केबल है सर। थैंक यू so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And that is the vision. Let me also update you all that is the vision of our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir when he joined. He said that what is the meaning of the university? Of course, it is, for the, well-being of the Bundelkhand region, but, the ideas have no boundaries. The university meaning by itself that it should, flourish and assist others to flourish at the national and international level. So with that vision, we are moving forward, and I would now request Dr. Yumnam, please share your experiences. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. A very good afternoon to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Dr. Narendra Pratap Singh, sir, of Banda University of Agriculture and Technology, and the chief guest, Dr. Amresh Chandra, sir, respected Dean, sir, Dr. Sanjeev, sir, then the course director, Dr. Aishwarya, Maheshwari, sir, all the organizing members and the participants. I'm very happy to share my thoughts today, as I really enjoyed being a part of these 21 days training and learned many new things which is related to my field, which was very new to me. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the organizers to smoothly and very punctually organizing the whole course, which is a very big task for any organizers. We are not able to maintain it, but we have perfectly maintained the timing, and also it was a very good experience with me regarding that. And regarding the lectures, that I have learned many things regarding these all natural resource management, planning, conservation, forest resources, its certification, biodiversity management, even the geopolitical framework. I didn't know anything about that, but many things I have learned from this total course. And especially I would like to take some to a lecture which I really enjoyed, that was given by Dr. Mohammad sir on the high impact research publication. It was very interesting and very useful. And again, would like to take personally, which I found very interesting. It was the lecture given by Dr. Shadna Tripathi ma'am on the wood preservation. It was very interesting to see. So enhancing the service life of bamboo and wood. So overall, the experience of learning from this 21 days training, for me, it was a very good experience, and I thank all the organizers and the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the university, and I'm very happy that I was part of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for such appreciative words. If there anyone else who would like to share their experiences, most welcome, and then we will move to the other session of today's valedictory session. Great. So with the feedback session, now it's a high time to hear from our chief guest of today's validity session, Dr. Amresh Chandra Saab, who is the director of Indian Grassland and Fodder Research Institute, popularly called as IGFRI, located in Jhansi. Sir, we tried our level best to give you an entire summary and a brief of our 21 days journey. And we look forward to learn from your keynote address and what else we should do to improve our upcoming training programs. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, and very good afternoon to each of you. Most respected Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Banda Agriculture University and Technology, Banda, Professor N.P. Singh ji, Directors and Dean of the prestigious university situated in Bundelkhand, that's in Banda, all the resource person of this important training, 21 days training program, all dear participants from different parts of the country. At the outset, I am pleased to hear the feedback from the participants. And when I heard the feedback, I think there is nothing new to add, because they were highly satisfied what I have heard from the 5 participants. They have just narrated the feedback what they have got about this training. I think the training is highly useful, looking into the current climatic scenario of the world and anything which is related to preserving our natural resources, whether it is coming from the forest, whether it is coming from any other areas of the country, is going to be very important. And that's why you got a very beautiful and very knowledgeable participant from all over the country. When you have these types of participants for any training program, the training has to be successful. And that's why I said the training program was very successful, listening to the participant as well as having the topic of the training program. Of course, this training program was an online program. When you do online program, sometimes there is some problem comes, but most of the time what we have learned during last 2 years of our COVID scenario in the world, when you have a training online, you get a lot of resource person from different parts of the world. And that is the best part. When you have online training and when you have resource person from different parts of the world, you are going to deliver best of the lecture which is available in the topic. And that is what happened in this case. I congratulate all the person associated with this program, because they have arranged person from not only in India, they have also arranged person from outside the country. That is one thing, and I would like to place this on record that the training program was highly successful. Looking into the theme, what it was said, they have got 7 thematic program, and all these 7 thematic program what they have proposed for this training program was quite useful, quite well connected. It was well knit to each of the theme what you have narrated, 7 technical program what you have. So that's why the program was well knitted and one was linked with another. So the continuum what it should be, it was there. That's why the participants were quite happy to not to leave, and they were quite happy to address and attend all the lectures what you have proposed in these 7 thematic programs. So that's, I'm pleased to say that the way it was chalked out, the way the theme was decided, the way the lecture was kept, the way the exposure visit, I think in online program, sometimes we have some program which can be taken to the different parts of the country through online system and all those things. That was also possible during this training program. So that was the way how to attend and how to carry out the training program, especially in online mode. So so I am very much thankful that I have given a chance to speak something on this topic. As you know that we are associated with the grassland research. Here at Jhansi, this institute is Indian Grassland and Fodder Research Institute. And we are also very much associated with the activity associated with the forest. Because the natural resources, when you talk about the forest management and forestry, there are the things which is very much associated with the grasses, and the grasses which is useful for our livestock. And as you know that in our country, we have the maximum number of livestock in the world. I am very much pleased to share with you all, though you must be knowing that India is #1 as far as livestock population in the world is concerned. As far as milk production is concerned, we are #1 in the world. But when you talk about the productivity of our animal, it's not so good. Why it is not so good? The reason and only reason is we are not able to provide the quality feed and fodder. And when we are talking the fodder, the maximum part of the fodder what we give to our livestock, that comes from the crop residues, and these crop residues also encompasses the tree residues. And when we are talking of the tree residues, that come mostly from the forest. As you know that there are many acts, there are many statutory obligations, and we cannot allow our livestock to go in the forest to have the grazing. But we can have a grasses, and these grasses can be taken from the forest area, and that can be given to the animal and livestock what we are talking. So this way, what we can say, the natural resources, what we preserve in the forest area, that can be utilized to feed our livestock. And that's why we stand here that some of the residues that comes from the forest can be made to the quality fodder, and that can be fed to our animal, so that our livestock productivity can be enhanced, and that can be enhanced many fold. When you compare the milk production in the country, this is almost 198 million tons liter what we produce. But when you talk for per animal production, as far as milk is concerned, this is just half, less than half what an animal produce in the country like Israel. And the reason only is that the not availability of, as I said, the quality fodder. And we have visited different forest areas in the country. Recently, we went to Gujarat, and we went to the different parts of the Gujarat, and we saw different forest departments over there. What we talk about the Kutch region, what you talk about the Junagadh region, and all those things, they have been given a responsibility to provide fodder, the green fodder, dry fodder especially, for the animals that's in the Gujarat state. And when we saw the preserved, the dry fodder what they were storing in different parts of the forest, because they were having a big forest, almost 500-600 hectare areas where they have the trees, and under the trees they have to different sort of the grasses. All those grasses what they have collected from those forests, and when they have conserved those grasses for feeding the animals, they were not very good quality. And that's why we say this is not the way to preserve the grasses, and that is not way to have the post-harvest things with these grasses. So we have recommended some of the technologies and what we have with us at this institute to improve the quality of those resources. Otherwise, those resources, which is very prime resources coming from the forest area, is not being used, and that should be used for the livestock, because those grasses naturally and finally is going to feed the animals. And if it is not fed in a proper manner, I mean to say that if it is not having a quality, how it is going to be useful for our animals. So that's one part. The second part is that, as you know, that in our country, we have almost 3.3% area of the total geographical area, and that is called the grazing land, pasture lands, and range lands. And that comes around 11 million hectare area. And if that grazing land and pasture lands, if it is not properly maintained, the one what we are going to get the grasses from those areas, and those areas where I am talking about, around 11 million hectare area, that is a grazing land for our livestock. If it is not properly maintained, how our livestock is going to give more and more milk? That is one point. The second point, what I am going to talk about, if you talk the things in the perspective of Bundelkhand region, the Bundelkhand region, if you talk about the total geographical area of the Bundelkhand, that is around 7 million hectare area. And out of these 7 million hectare areas, around 0.5 million hectare area that comes under the grassland and pasture lands. And if these 0.4 million hectare areas, especially in Bundelkhand, it is not well maintained with the different sorts of grasses, how our animal will give you more milk? That is one point. The second point is that if you take the totality, in totality overall in the country, the forest area, I think it must have been told to you, the recent forest survey report, which was published in 2021, as it comes after second year, the total forest area, forest cover in our country is almost 21.7% to the total geographical area of the country. And if you take into account of the tree cover, that is 2.9% of the total geographical area. If you combine these two, that comes around 24.62% of the total geographical area that is being called as a tree cover in the country, the forest and tree cover. But if you take the account of the degradation of our forest areas, especially some part of the northeastern part of the country, where the forest area has gone down, especially if you talk about the northeastern part, especially you see the example of Mizoram, see the example of Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, and Nagaland, where the area under the forest has gone down from 1.39% to 1.88%. And that is only happened because of the landslide and because of the increased impact of the landslide, and there are many other reasons. And when the forest area going to decrease, you know that is going to impact our climate. The availability of the forest, the amount of the tree, the number of trees, and all other things which is available in the forest, if it is going to decrease because of one or other reasons, that is going to affect our climate. And what we are facing today is the climate change, and that is being you can say one way, it is being affected by the effect of what is assessing and what you are finding changing in the pattern as far as our forest cover is in our country is concerned. So we have to take into account that what the forest we have, the percentage of the forest, what it has been envisaged in the report, that by 2030, I think 45 to 65% Indian forest will be affected by climate change, and that is because of the rising temperature, and the forest in all states except Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Nagaland will be highly vulnerable to climate hotspot. And this report also indicated that the Ladakh likely to be the most affected by the climate change. So all these part has to be taken into account so that what it was proposed in the plan, in the report, that should not happen. Otherwise, it will going to affect our climate change, and that climate change will have a havoc as far as livestock as well as human population in the country is concerned. So we have to take into account that the forest area and what we have at presently should not be dwindled further. What we have around 24%, 24.62 exactly, it should not go down. And as you know that Madhya Pradesh has the largest forest cover in India. And after that, as you know that the Chhattisgarh and Odisha are other major forest area in our country. But if you see the green, if you look into the problem as far as forest in our country is concerned, India, and at the same time, the forest conservation, and at the same time, what we say, The India aim to increase carbon sink from 2.5 to 3 billion tons carbon dioxide equivalent by 2030. How it is going to happen? How we will achieve this? The only and one way to achieve is to have a better population in the forest, the tree population, I mean to say that, and that has to be taken into account, that how we can increase the tree population and quality population, quality trees in our forest, so that what we are aiming to get by 2030, it could be achieved. And also we have to have the mapping of the climate change in the hotspot, what is happening in those areas, especially in context of the India, and the role of forest in relation to climate change by reducing the emission of greenhouse gases. If you look into the issue of greenhouse gases, we have to address this issue by looking into the role of forest and forestry in this our country. And can we achieve through expanding and mitigating the adoption action with low cost intervention? Because our country, we have to see also the what resources we have, how we can maintain our
Sorry, sir, you have been,
yes, okay. The climate change which is happening, and that can be addressed by addressing our forest and forestry. And that what at the same time, and what I mean to say that the population, the biodiversity, what we have in different parts of the country, especially in these forest areas, if you are going to have any impact on this biodiversity, is going to have the impact not only 1 or 2%, it will have a total impact on the humanity of the universe. So we have to see that this biodiversity should not get disturbed. And when we are talking to not to disturb this biodiversity, which is going to have an impact on the total humanity of the world, we have to have a high proportion of the tree in this forest. We have to increase the percentage of the forest cover in this country. And that can be only possible by having such type of training. When we interact with each other, how this forest cover of our country can be maintained, can be further improved. And such type of training plays a very important role. And when we train only 30%, 35% in training program, but at the same time, when we have any training program, we always trust and believe that that is what we have taught them, what we have exposed them, that is not going only with that 30 and 35%. At least we trust and believe that these 35 people will get another 10 people each of you, and that will go to the 3,500, and that 3,500 further multiplied to 35,000. So that's our motive when you have any training program, not only this program, for any training program. And when you have you as a participant, we always have you as an ambassador of any institute, any university. When you get linked with the university, you become ambassador of this university. We're not going to forget, and you are not going to forget us. So that's the mission of any training program. And I think this training program was highly successful as far as this theme is concerned. So all of you have become ambassador of this university, and you will take forward this university, what they have taught you. So this is going to play a very important role in your life, as you said yourself. And it's very satisfying to hear from you people that you have got many things to take forward. And this is I'm very much pleased to hear all those things. And at the same time, what India aim, if you talk in the larger perspective, bringing 33% of its geographical area under forest cover. This is the last thing I'm going to tell you, that what India aim. India aims that to bring this forest cover from 24% to 33%. Okay. And that is also reflected in the National Forest Policy in 1988. Not today, it was mentioned in the 1988 policy that India should have at least 33% of its geographical area under forest cover. This is also one of the key targets enlisted in the strategy of the New India at 75. New India at 75 document by Niti Aayog 2018. So this is now our all responsibility, and this responsibility must be shared by each of us to increase the forest cover in this country from 24% to 33%. When this is going to happen, we will be having better future. We are going to have better life. We are going to have a better climate, and that ultimately will give a green India, and that will survive the humanity in this world. And I take your word that because of these training programs, something is going to change in this country, and we will taking all the things what it was taught to you to take it further, and it should be going to the logical end. It should reach. One more thing I would like to say here, that when we are talking about the grassland, rangeland, one of the important things what is happening during last 5-6 days, as you know, that United Nations organization, it has a function of declaring a year in a very special topic. 2026 is going the International Year of Rangeland and Pastoralist. And we are very pleased to hear that United Nations has given 2026 as the International Year of Rangeland. And when we are talking about the rangeland is very close to the forest area and the pasture lands and the grazing land and the grassland. So we are very happy to have this 2026. We are going to celebrate the year as a year of International Year of Rangeland and Pastoralist. When you are talking in the pastoralist, it is very much associated with the forest area and the forest cover of the country, because many communities which are very close to the forest, and it is using as those close by a surrounding area of the forest as a grazing land. So having the International Year of Rangeland, I think it will also some way going to impact the forest cover of any country, because this is going to be worldwide. So it should not be limited to India, it will be all over the world. So that's the one thing. And I like to mention one thing. When you are talking about the forest, I think we should not forget about the resource generation from those forests. That is also one of the area. How we can increase the natural resources. When we are talking about the natural resources, we are talking also about what we can get from those forest area. And that is one area what we say, the bamboo plantation in this country. And as you know that we also celebrate International Day of the Bamboo Plantation. Very few months back, we celebrated that. And as you know that the bamboo is not going to be tree, so you can cut it without having any problem. So that has been done by the government of India, so that you can plant the bamboo and you can cut the bamboo without having any having any permission from the forest department, because it's not being treated as a tree, it is being treated as a grass. So you can plant the bamboo, you can sell the bamboo, and you can generate income. As you know that we are almost 40,000 crore rupees is the market of the bamboo in this world. So this way, forest not only provide you the clean environment, but it's also provide you a lot of money. So this way, I can say that the training program must have given you lot of input, which not only improve your intellectual knowledge, but it must have given you some of the information which can use them, and you can generate some income. You can improve the livelihood of the farmers if you are associated with farmers, or if you are associated with some FPO. You can tell them you can generate income by having the participation of the different farmers community. So this way, I think this training program was very much successful. I am very much thankful inviting me as a chief guest of this program. Thank you very much, sir. I am very much thankful to Honorable VC. He has chosen me to be here as a chief guest to give something about the forest and grassland. So I'm very much happy to be here with you. And I'm also very much happy to listen the feedback from the participant. It was quite satisfying that any training program, the participant have given you A+, not A, it is given you A+. I think more than A+, and that is all because of the guidance of the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor N.P. Singh, and the team. Very few days back, I was in that university. I was totally mesmerized to see the change that university has done it, and that is all because of the leadership of the Professor N.P. Singh. I know him personally. He's 24/7 and 24 hours into 7 days working scientist. I know that, and he is going to change the total scenario of that university in coming days. I very much, so thank you very much inviting me as a chief guest of this program. Once and all, thank you, all the best. And I congratulate each of you, all the participants, completing this training program successfully, and you are going to get certificate. Don't forget, get always connected with universities. You will be always benefited by connecting any university of the country. And this is one of the prime university we have in Bundelkhand region. And that's why it is situated in Bundelkhand region. You know that in Madhya Pradesh, in the UP is very adjacent to Madhya Pradesh. In Bundelkhand, if you talk about, the Bada is the region where you have a lot of forest area. We have, as I said, the Madhya Pradesh is the one which has the maximum percentage of the forest area in the country. So what we understand that the Bada is not far away from the Madhya Pradesh, it is border area. So we consider that the Bada, Jhansi, Hamirpur, and all those areas are very close to that. And that's why this training program was very pertinent to this part of this country. And that way, that's why it is going to be successful, and it will be successful. And thank you very much inviting me as a chief guest, and all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for such encouraging words. Of course, you have, given some of the right questions, and I always speak about that. Asking the right question is, the best thing. As like, the blank key has the potential of opening many locks. Of course, sir, we did have some of the deliberation and lectures on which, the villages and the pasture lands adjacent to the protected areas, and how to reduce the dependency on the natural resources with the community involvement in some of the deliberations. And of course, as you rightly mentioned, the year 2026 is going to be the year of the grassland and pasture lands. So I have been fortunate to do my PhD in the Ladakh region, where the concept of the fodder bank was introduced, many years back for the Changthang and the cold Tibetan Plateau region. So, of course, sir, we look forward to receive your guidance and cooperation in the future academics program. And this is the time for all of us, to look forward to hear from our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sahab, Dr. Nasir Pratap Singh Sahab, for the chairman's remark. Sir, over to you.
Good afternoon to all of you. Are you able to listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Dr. Aishwarya Maheshwari and his team, to organize this excellent training program for 21 days. I remember when he came with the proposal that we are going to have, online training program in the area of forest management. I was asking him how you are going to manage for 21 days. Then I just took the pen and tried to, doing the editing of the title of the, this training program. And I will tell you, I did not find a single keyword that I can remove and make it short. It was made so meticulously. So I would like to congratulate Dr. Maheshwari, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, and all three coordinators for organizing it successfully for 21 days, despite of the fact that we had a lot of hurdles. We have election around, everybody was put on duty. It was, long holy holidays, but still, everything was managed very meticulously. I am very grateful to my colleague, Dr. Amresh Chandra, who acceded to my request. I thought he's the best person,
for joining, us and addressing, this plenary session, because his institute, is involved since very long in, training many of the forest officer and advocating, lot of policy related issues to rangeland management and pasture lands. They are doing a lot of consultancy. So I thought he is the key person, because if we have to talk about the forest management, we have to also talk about, if we want that forest should remain intact, our grassland should also remain intact, outside the forest land. Then only, the people will not remove it, for fodder and feed. So it was good to listen him, and I am also very happy to know that year 2020-26 is going to be celebrated as a rangeland and pasture land, and this will be a good treat, for those who don't speak, for the food or animal, and when I was looking, the entire content, not a single thing was missed, from very beginning, all 7, different topics, it was covered. We had a very eminent people, on board. They were resource person, and I was listening, the feedback by some of the, the trainees. It was amazing, really, that people look very satisfied, and many of you, you wanted that we should organize a, a physical training in future in this particular area. I would like to tell you that, this university is, you all know, located in Bundelkhand region in Uttar Pradesh, adjacent to Madhya Pradesh, and there is a lot of forest cover, in Bundelkhand and UP and MP both. And we have a mega campus, and huge resources. Not only, very good land and, very good, the piece of the forest within the campus, but we also have wonderful infrastructure, of the labs and the field. So definitely in future we will consider this, and would like to have a, the physical training, so that, you are exposed to the different kind of expertise, and, on-hand training, in the lab. When we talk about, the forest management, I always have a very strong feeling that the present cover, forest cover, as it was told by Dr. Chandra, is about 24%, and it should be 33%, a kind of target set by Niti Aayog. And you must have heard about very recent, a kind of policy decision taken by the government of India, that all major river wells are going to be made green. And the government, and this particular project is going to be, led by, the Ministry of Forest, Environment and Climate Change, and there are large number of ministries are going to be associated with that. Particularly, the Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation, and Rural Development. So this is going to be a very good initiative. And when we talk about the forest management, we always talk about, our, day by day, our forest is going out, land is coming under the agriculture and industrial development. And somehow or other, we have to strike a balance between the development, feeding, 130 crore people on one side, always pressure. At the same time, we have to see that our forest remains, the secured, our environment remains, the intact, again secured and safe. And we should not challenge, the wildlife, that they develop a conflict with the human being. That is one of the major issues that we face, in Bundelkhand region also. So I feel this training program, which was organized for 21 days, it covered, all issues, not only related to the management, but related to policies. I always have a very strong feeling that unless there is a policy in place, good research, or what you call that good management, nothing works. we have to have a very good policy in place. And I was happy that a lot of people, who are related to R&D, a lot of people who are related to particularly the resource person, who are related to policies, they address all of you. I'm also very happy that during the entire course of the training program, there has been not a single change or rescheduling of the program. Everything went perfectly. Once again, I congratulate to Dr. Maheshwari and his team that it was planned very meticulously. And another very important feature of the whole training program that when we address anything, whether it is the training or we talk about any workshop, we never talk about, the scientific output. We always talk about, you do in this way, you do in that way, you contribute. But very important indicator for success for any R&D program that all of you are involved, that what is the quality publication that you are bringing. So I was very happy to listen that there was a lecture again, dedicated to this, that how you can do a very good writing of the research paper and, the planning the good project, how can you write a good projects. So this was again, apart from the policy, this was another very important, the feature of this particular training program. When we talk about the forest management, one of the things that comes to my mind all the time, that while we are having so many development projects, we are planning, big expressway, highways. We are now linking the river. One is going, Betwa and, Ken rivers in Bundelkhand region. There is always, the danger of losing very important biodiversity. Whether it is the biodiversity related to, the plants, or it is animals, or say, for example, the microbes, we are going to lose. So we must plan, as a researcher, that how this biodiversity is conserved, it is preserved, and we are able to keep it safe, for the future generations. Another way, when we see that we are able to protect, the forest, lot of pressure is coming, again on the forest, that when the land is going out, more and more people, who have lost their land, they encroach the forest. So still, there is more pressure on the forest. So as a scientist, we see that, all this biodiversity is preserved, it is protected, and this is again going to lead, lot of land degradation and runoff of water. So it's going to be a big challenge, in years to come, that how we are going to protect our environment. At the same time, we are able to mitigate the climate change. With this word, I am closing here. Once again, I congratulate, the whole team, all coordinators, the secretary, the chairperson, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, and particularly congratulating all the participants who successfully completed this particular course. They are going as an ambassador, as Dr. Amresh Chandra told, and they are going to not only, transfer this know-how to the other colleagues, to the student, but at the same time, they are going to create awareness among the people, that how important is the forest for, survival of the human being. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. And I would like to convey, to Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Patel, Nasir Agriculture University, who is a good friend of mine, that we can jointly take up some training, in time to come. And I'm very thankful that for a good word that he conveyed to us. So thank you very much once again. Congratulations to all of you. Over to Dr. Maheshwari.
Thank you so much, sir. In a nutshell, you have covered almost everything in your keynote in your address at the chairman's remark for this validatory session. And it is the high time, sir, when I should reveal one of the secret to all the participants and who all are joining here. I still remember the date. It was last of the Feb, I think 28th of Feb, when I was there at the admin building at the office of the Honorable Vice Chancellor Saab for one of the approval, and file was with me and I was coming down from the stairs where Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir actually was also, coming out. It was, I think, in evening around 6:30 or so. And he said that, I have approved your file, go ahead. And from the beginning, when we conceived this idea and when we discussed this idea with sir, of course, now we can reveal it that it was the first time for 3 coordinator and myself, we were organizing 21 days training program. And I expressed our nervousness to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Sir, kaise hoga sir, thoda sa nervous hai hum sab charon log. We have a new team. We have never organized such a big event of the national level, and we are contacting at a personal level, informal way, to our resource person, and we are formalizing slowly to all the resource person on board. He said a very simple thing: if you won't do it now and experience it, you will never be able to do it. And we took it as a team, as the encouragement line, that there has to be some day when we actually come out from the eggshell and start flying. So that was the day, and today is the validity session, sir, under your leadership. We have finally we have done it. That is the feeling. So we should celebrate the movement. And with these words, sir, thank you so much. And of course, I would also thank Dr. Amrish Chandra Sahab to accepting our invitation on such a short notice. We thank each and everyone, of course, the participants. And for a formal vote of thanks, I would now request Dr. Mohammad Nasir, one of the coordinators of the organizing committee, to please deliver his vote of thanks. Dr. Nasir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maheshwari. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and Dr. Narendra Pratap Singh, sir, and respected Chief Guest, Dr. Director IGFRE, Dr. Amrish Chandra, sir, Registrar BOAT, Dr. S.K. Singh, sir, Dean College of Forestry, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, sir, all the member of organizing committee and dear participants, a very good afternoon. Let me have this opportunity to thank our respected Chief Guest, Dr. Amrish Chandra, sir, who has accepted the invitation on a very short notice. Sir, we thank you for your motivation and encouraging. It has really boosted up our confidence. Further, you shared your vast experience in the field of natural resource management and biodiversity management is a very enlightening and knowledgeful. I would say that it was a complete concluding remark of the whole training program. So thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, as we all aware that it was a very busy day of yours, sir, but still you managed to join us on the exact time. That reflects your commitment to work, sir. It is really a learning for all of us, sir. Sir, I would say that this training could not be possible without your support and blessing. So thank you very much, sir. I would extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, sir, as for all his valuable suggestions and advices you gave, sir, whenever we come to you, that has really helped in managing the program, sir. My sincere thanks to Dr. Arbind Gupta, Dr. Kaushal Singh, and for their continuous and rigorous hard work. And a special thanks to Dr. Aishwarya Maheshwari, the main architect and strong pillar of this training program, who we used to call him a great event organizer. And Dr. Maheshwari, you have proved it again. Thank you very much. In the last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants of the 21-day training program. You were the essential component of this training program. Without your active participation in this training program could not be possible. So I thank you for your active and enthusiastic participation. So with these words, sir, I would conclude myself and thank you very much to everyone. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nasir. So with all due permission, sir, shall I end up the meeting, sir? The validity session.
Thank you.
Sure, sir.
Yes, you can conclude now.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, thank you.